Good day, U.S. history students. Mr. Deegan here. I am at my desk this time with some headphones. It's Unit 9, Lesson 7. Let's write the learning target. I will understand America's home front during World War II. These are some posters that were posted in America that asked Americans to contribute to the war effort. Let's look further. A summary. Contributions to World War II's war effort came from all segments of society. Women entered previously male job roles. African Americans struggled to obtain desegregation of the armed forces and discriminatory hiring practices. And this is a segregated unit in the U.S. Army during World War II that existed. And here are two African American women helping the war effort at home. Women on the home front. During World War II, Rosie the Riveter, here she is, became a symbol for working woman. And that was a propaganda poster here by the War Production Company that partnered with the U.S. government. And working women replaced men serving in the war. African Americans on the home front. During World War II, African Americans migrated to cities in search of jobs in war factories. They also campaigned for victory in war and equality at home. So African Americans fought in World War II. In the meantime, they faced segregation at home in the U.S., which led this author to write this book, Black Soldiers, the Unsung Heroes of World War II. Internment of Japanese Americans. During wartime, prejudice and fear can negatively affect civil liberties of minority citizens, their rights. After Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the U.S. government relocated Japanese citizens to internment camps, which were government-built housing complexes far from their real homes. And this is a dining hall in one of those internment camps. You see all the Japanese American citizens eating. And this was what an internment camp looked like. These are housing complexes. Why internment? During World War II, the U.S. had a strong anti-Japanese prejudice on the West Coast. Some government leaders and citizens had the false belief that these Japanese American citizens were aiding the enemy. And here you see a white citizen with a sign above her house saying, "Japs keep moving. This is a white man's neighborhood." There was so much prejudice during this time. How internment? This was a government-planned job. President Franklin Roosevelt, there he is, 32nd president, signed an executive order in 1942 allowing for Japanese American internment camps. In 1944, the U.S. Supreme Court decided that the government's decision to send away Japanese Americans was constitutional. And this is the name of the court case that decided this. A late apology. In 1988, about 40 years later, U.S. President George H.W. Bush apologized for putting more than 100,000 Japanese Americans in internment camps during World War II. The apology also offered $20,000 to each survivor of the internment camp. And there is the 41st President of the United States. U.S. media during World War II, Part 1. During World War II, the U.S. media and entertainment industries thought it was their job to support the war effort. They promoted U.S. nationalism and had a bias toward the U.S. government's ideas and opinions. Captain America. It's a cartoon and comic that we know today. Well, that started in World War II, and it started as a way for the entertainment industry to support America in the war. U.S. media during World War II, Part 2. The U.S. government maintained strict censorship of reporting of the war. The entertainment industry produced movies, plays, and shows that boosted morale and the spirit of patriotism. They portrayed the enemy in a stereotypical way. And this is a stereotype of a Japanese soldier right here. Tokyo kids say, much waste of material makes so happy, making fun at the way a Japanese person would speak English. And this is how the US government portrayed the enemy. We have but our summary questions left. Please think of 2 questions you would like to write down. Write them down, and when you're done with that, you are done with 9-7. Don't forget the Canvas quiz that is on your computer right now. Until next time, this is Mr. Deegan signing off.